The Rob and KO podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
KO Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and KO podcasts.
Let's go. Welcome into the show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us today. As we roll along here, ladies and gentlemen, I have to give credit to Baylor Man, who is here every day to tell us how much longer we've got until college football season. 16 more college footballless days remaining. You know what? We will highlight that because that is important. Jay comes in every day and says some mean things to me. And if I had feelings or gave a fuck, it would hurt my feelings. But it doesn't. He says, I am Rob Chubby Chaser Sanders. I'm also Rob Arn Anderson looking motherfucker Sanders. Yeah, all of that stuff. I'm with you on that. JetMech says, IRS is advertising can use deadly force in these new positions. What the fuck? I don't even want to get into that. Dr. Vol coming in, spreading his nonsense. But I tell you what, I got a couple things we're going to get into today. First of all, I said we were going to talk about the most important games for the SEC teams. Look, Jackpot and I may get into that, but this I thought was something I wanted to bring up today. The Jerry Palm released his bowl projections today. And I know that projections are silly, but some of these I look at and I kind of just laughed a little bit. Just a little bit. Look at you. My daughter actually opened up her water bottle. Imagine that. All right, anyway. So I thought we'd go over some of these really quick here. In the college football playoff, he's got Alabama as the 1 seed, Oklahoma as the 4 seed, Ohio State is the 2 seed, Georgia as the 3 seed. And so with that, I'm thinking that he's got Alabama beating Georgia in the SEC championship game. Then you've got Clemson at number 5, followed by Texas A&M at number 6. That's not that far-fetched to me for the most part. I don't really agree with 5 and 6 because both of those teams have quarterback issues. The 4 teams that are listed ahead of them right there in the college football playoff, what do they all have that the other ones don't? They all have quarterbacks that have been pretty successful. So there you go. I and except for 4, I'm with Oklahoma. I'm sorry. The top 3 do. I'm not buying. First of all, I'm not buying Texas A&M at all. I think they're the most overrated team in the West. I think Tennessee's the most overrated team in the East. But I don't buy Clemson and Texas A&M at 5 and 6. But that's the way that goes. All right, so the selection committee bowl games, the New Year's 6, Michigan and Utah in the Rose Bowl. I can halfway understand that. Followed by Southern Cal and Cincinnati, the 2 at-large teams. Yeah, Baylor Man's right. 8-4 for Texas A&M. They've got them in the Sugar Bowl playing Baylor. Oh, speaking of which, there you go, playing Baylor. I hope that they get Baylor, and I hope Baylor mouth pumps them. I really do. And then they've got Clemson and Notre Dame, which will be a rematch from a regular season game. These are all Jerry Palm's projections, by the way. And sometimes he gets close, but sometimes he's way off. All right, so here's the next set. In the Citrus Bowl, he has Penn State playing Tennessee. Okay. I mean, if you're in the camp, you think Tennessee is going to be good enough to get into the Citrus Bowl. I mean, who played in the Citrus Bowl last year? Wasn't Kentucky in the Citrus Bowl? So I'm guessing he's thinking Tennessee is going to be an 8, 9, 10 win team. Whatever. We shall see on that. Oop, I just pulled my headphones out. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so then you've got, this is the one that got me. the Relia Quest Bowl, which was formerly the Outback Bowl, which, what the fuck with these bowl names? Ugh. Wisconsin playing the Florida Gators. Who's buying that? That's hilarious too. We'll see on that one. In the Music City Bowl, they've got Michigan State and Kentucky. I could halfway buy that. In the, let's see here, let's go to bowl games people give a shit about. The Gator Bowl, Miami and Arkansas. Buy into that too. Why not? I think Arkansas have to be close there. I mean, they're going to have to get some wins that. I feel worse about. I feel less insecure about Arkansas than I do A&M, even though A&M has more talent. It's weird, right? Anyway, North Carolina and Oregon State in the Sun Bowl, Pitt and Iowa in the Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl, Oklahoma State and Oregon in the Alamo Bowl, in the Cheez-It Bowl, NC State and Texas, Wake and Minnesota in the Pinstripe Bowl. Buying that too a little bit. Why not? Texas. Jesus. Fuck Texas. Did I have that? Wait a minute. Oh, I misread that. I'm sorry. Iowa State and Mississippi State in the Texas Bowl. That's what I was reading. Sorry about that. In the Holiday Bowl, Virginia playing UCLA. Kansas State and Ole Miss in the Liberty Bowl. Virginia Tech playing Houston in the Military Bowl, which I never understood that. In the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, which is played in Phoenix, you got West Virginia and Purdue. That might be interesting. You also have Birmingham. In the Birmingham Bowl, they've got Maryland playing South Carolina. So they've got South Carolina, I guess, projected to win 6 or 7 games, or at least Jerry Palm does. The Camellia Bowl has Marshall and ECU, Florida State and Liberty in the Gasparilla Bowl. Jay says Rob looks like he broke into a few soda machines when he was younger. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Florida State and Liberty in the Gasparilla Bowl. Also, UCF and Army in the Independence Bowl. The Armed Forces Bowl has SMU and Cal. Huh. Okay with all that. Followed by New Mexico Bowl, Air Force and North Texas. And then in the Fenway Bowl, which who wants to see a bowl game at Fenway Park? Boston College and Memphis. And then finally, the Cure Bowl has Appalachian State and Miami of Ohio. All right, so with that, what do you guys think about some of these bowl projections? Are any of these that far off? I'm not buying 5 and 6. I'm not buying Notre Dame being that high too in the Orange Bowl. I don't see that either. Anyway, 803-470-2905. We'll take your calls on that this afternoon. If you would like to join us here on the program, 803-470-2905 as we roll along here this afternoon. Do you think that the Tennessee Pitt game or Tennessee Penn State game would be what you thought about? I don't know if they'll both finish that high. You know, if you had to hold me down, I think Penn State will finish with. They won't finish with enough credentials to get to that game, in my opinion. I don't think Penn State's going to be that good. Jackpot's not going to be pleased with that. By the way, the Callaway's Pickem Challenge. If you're entering it with PayPal, for God's sakes, Jackpot texted me this morning. Please make sure that you do it as family and friends because it charges $1. And that's one of those things that Jackpot's like, what the fuck? Don't do that. All right, so let's not do that. Just enter the competition the easy way. Do it, friends and family. Jackpot's not going to steal from you. I don't know what the problem is with all that. Anyway, 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. That's the number to dial if you'd like to join the program today. 803-470-2905. Alan says, Rob, UGA versus Bama in the SEC championship. It is it, pal? Yeah, I guess. I don't see a team from the West challenging Alabama. I don't see a team from the East challenging Georgia. So 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join the program today. As we roll along here on the program, over the weekend, we're going to do we're going to have the each SEC team's most important game. I'm going to do that with Jackpot because I think that's some good stuff there. But we'll get into that over the weekend. Also, last night, by the way, if you're a Braves fan, Vaughn Grissom smacking a ball in Fenway. Hilarious. Thought that was really cool to see the Braves beat up on the Red Sox. Fireball says, why is Clemson ranked so high? I don't see it. Do you? Fireball, no, I don't. I really don't. Daddy O with a good point there. It's the longest $20 entertainment you'll get all year, 3 months worth. You're right, Daddy O. I don't understand why Clemson is ranked that high. I guess it's because of the defense. Because I think the Clemson defense has the ability to be lights out. I really do. I think this year's defense will be better than the defense that beat up on Alabama in the championship game. I really starting to think that way. So there's that. As far as offensively goes for Clemson, I mean, I think Will Shipley is going to be good. I think Kobe Pace is going to be good. After that, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But I think I would feel more if we're trying to put it where things would be easier for as far as rating Clemson. I think Clemson's about 12 to 15 just because of the questions they have at quarterback. Just my opinion. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you'd like to join the program this evening, we'd love to chat with you today. Actually, this afternoon. But yeah, I think that's the big thing with Clemson, and I'm just not sold on Uiagalelei at quarterback. So just being completely real with you there. That the other thing too is that someone was talking to me about South Carolina and how they're so high on Spencer Rattler. Yeah, I think he's a talented guy, but I'm not sure South Carolina has the wide receivers for him to throw to. But then I started thinking about it. Aaron Rodgers played at Green Bay for a long time, and he's made some really good wide receivers that weren't really good wide receivers. So maybe someone like a De'Carrion Joyner, who's coming back for his senior year, could become that second guy for South Carolina and give them a hell of a 1-2 punch with Josh Vann, who finally decided to start playing last year, and De'Carrion Joyner on the other side. Then you've got Stogner, the tight end. Those three, you throw in Bell, the guy who ran all over everyone in the Mayonnaise Bowl. Then all of a sudden, South Carolina looks like they have some options there. But the big thing with South Carolina, though, it's going to come back down to that offensive line. And Jackpot will tell you that. When he's not doing cannonballs in the fucking pool, Jackpot will tell you that. So there's that. Fireball says, I think he is spoiled with a bad attitude if it doesn't go his way. He's shown that, but you know what? We all have an opportunity to make things better. Papa B says Luke Altemeyer starts over Jackson Dart. Sawyer Robertson starts over Will Rogers. You think that Robertson is going to get the nod over Rogers? I mean, Rogers is like I agree with Jay. That is a hot take there. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Papa B may be onto something there. We may make Papa B our Mississippi correspondent. There you go. Anyway, yeah, the more and more I think about with South Carolina, though, it comes down to that offensive line, and I don't know how good their defense is going to be. Last year, they were Jackpot gets tired of hearing it, but lack of depth, lack of depth, lack of depth. They got that all over the place. So there's that. All right. Final call for calls this afternoon, 803-470-2905. Who has a better record this year, South Carolina or Florida? That's solid. Hold on here. Let me look up. I'm looking up Florida's schedule. It's bound to be hot dog water because Florida doesn't schedule anything worth a shit ever. Florida football schedule. As we look at, they do have Utah this year at home. I mean, that's a loss. So I'll run by these really quick here. Utah's a loss. God, I don't know about the Kentucky game. I'll call the Kentucky game a loss. Why not? We'll give them a loss there. So that puts them at 0-2. They'll hammer South Florida. That's 1-2. They'll lose to Tennessee. That's 1-3. They'll beat Eastern Washington 2-3. They'll beat Mizzou. They'll be 3-3. They'll lose to LSU 3-4. Georgia will hammer them 3-5. They'll lose to A&M 3-6. Ooh, South Carolina in Gainesville. I think South Carolina can beat them. Fuck Florida. But 3-7. They beat Vandy 4-7. I just from what I'm seeing, they could go 4-8. Yeah, whatever, man. They could go 4-8. They could also get that win over. They could beat Florida State. They could beat South. I mean, I think South Carolina and Florida State might be toss-up games for them. So, I've said on the record, I think Tennessee gets them. So, yeah, their season actually starts. Here's the other thing, though. They don't leave Gainesville until the 24th. Like the first 3 games of the season are at home. So there's that. But anyway, yeah. So if you had to ask me right now, I would probably say South Carolina wins more games. That's just the way the thing's set up. Rick and I agree on something. Utah is going to beat the fuck out of them. I mean, I don't know what the line is on that yet, but whatever it is, I think and I think Tennessee gets them too. And the reason that Tennessee will beat them is, we were talking about that high-powered gimmick offense they've got. That's the kind of, with the deficiencies that Florida has as far as just bodies out there, they're not going to be able to keep up. That may turn into a track meet. Tennessee may run them right the fuck out of that stadium. Wow, Baylor, man, that 2.5 point. Jump on that really quick. That's going to go up. All right. So there you go. Tennille says she's an SEC homer. That's funny. Strickland's been a disaster at UF. All right, Fireball, who do you think is going to be the best competition for Clemson this year in the ACC? Everyone wants to talk about Miami. NC State has, I would go with Wake Forest if Sam Hartman was going to play. But since he's not, I would probably go in this order. NC State, Wake Forest if they had Hartman, and then probably Pitt, and then Miami, and then I'd probably go Virginia Tech. So there you go with that. So anyway, yeah, there's the ACC is going to be kind of weak this year, in my opinion, because everybody's so high on Miami, and Miami's going to shit the bed. Miami's going to shit the bed. So the three teams in the Atlantic, Clemson, Wake, and NC State will be the class of the conference. Obviously, Wake was Sam Hartman. Hartman has to be in the mix. All right, guys. It's been a great show today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys later on.